From the Hurricanes, we got to go back to the Dolphins, and the man to my left, he needs no introduction, but we'll do it anyway. He is Nat Moore, Vice President of Alumni Relations with the Dolphins. How you doing, my man?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me in. Good night to be here.
I was going to say, fantastic, especially based on what we saw today, a big win over the Steelers. What did you see today that we didn't see in the first 5 games of this season?
I think what I saw today was old-time football, where you finally got the 5 offensive linemen together. Everybody's healthy. The only time we've seen that this year was the Seattle game, which we were in that game the whole way. So getting everybody back, getting everybody healthy, the ability to run the football, we was able to keep Ryan Tannehill clean all day.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned the offensive line. We had that roster shakeup this week. What kind of effect do you think that had on the team heading into today?
Well, I don't know how much effect it had on the team. I think anytime you start to see guys that are in the locker room with you leave because of non-performance, it shows you that you need to pick your game up. And I think today that had very little to do with it, as much as this was a time for the team to get on track. They're playing at home. You got a big crowd. The Steelers are the biggest team coming in here to date. So it was just an opportune time for everybody to step their game up.
Now, you mentioned Ryan Tannehill as well. It feels like every single year we say this is the year that we're going to find out if Tannehill is the guy. Let me ask you, based on what you've seen throughout his career, even up to today, are you confident that he's a guy that can lead this team to the Super Bowl, playoffs, and beyond? Well,
I love Ryan Tannehill. I feel like he's the guy that, once we get this offensive line put together, we get the pieces around him. He doesn't have to be the guy to carry the team. He's got to be the guy that when the team needs him to make a play, he can make a play. When you look at the running backs that we have today, over 200 yards with Ajayi. That's what you got to have, because if everybody's worrying about stopping the run, then he's going to have a lot more time to sit back and throw the ball, get the ball to Landry and Parker and Stills and all those guys. So, the key to football is basically if you can control the line of scrimmage, which the offensive line did today, then you've got a 90% chance of winning.
Well, and Adam Gase is a guy, been here for a few months. I know you've had a chance to be around him a little bit. You've been around quite a few Dolphins coaches over the years. How would you compare what you've seen with him with some of the coaches that you've seen over the years?
Well, I think Adam is young, but he's smart. He understands the dynamic of getting everybody engaged, getting everybody involved in the game. I think what he and his coaching staff does very well is they teach. They realize that most of these kids coming out of college haven't learned all the fundamentals. So they spend a lot of time teaching, get their system in, and now they're looking for guys that fit that system. You can't run a system if these guys don't fit it. So as he's starting to get everybody intact with what he's trying to do, we're starting to see the fruits of the labor as today.
We are getting ready for Dolphins Alumni Weekend coming up next weekend. I'm going to go off the grid a little bit. I don't care who the best golfer is. Tell me who the worst golfer is that will be out there next weekend.
Hugh Green. That's easy. No, but seriously, one of the things that we've always prided ourselves as an organization is being involved in the community. And for the last couple years, 2 years ago, we honored the Ring of Honor. Last year was the top 50 players of all time. This time, we want to do something about the guys that are giving back, guys that are putting something back in the community. Since the Dolphins were launched in 1966, and just looking at the group of guys that we're going to honor, they have raised nearly $500 million. They've put in more than 200,000 hours of community service. And it all started with the Dolphins. We are an extension of the Miami Dolphins. Joe Robbie back in the day got me involved with Jackson Memorial Hospital with newborns. And it's just been a labor of love. And what we're saying now is we want to say thank you to all those guys that have foundations, have tied their names to different charities. So we're going to start off on Friday night with a draw party that compliments of TD Bank there at Hard Rock Stadium. And then on Saturday, all those bad golfers you were talking about are going to come out to Turnberry, compliments of MLK Construction. And, of course, Waste Management is our presenting sponsor for the golf. So we're looking forward to Friday, Saturday, but the most important part is come Sunday, we play the Bills. Yeah. And we get to honor these guys at halftime doing that game. The Bills have been a team that we've struggled with the last 3 years. Matter of fact, they've actually beat us each time. So it's time to right that ship. And so seeing the Dolphins play the way they did today, I got high hopes for next week.
I like that. Are you going as far as to make a guarantee?
I never guarantee anything, but I know when I play, we didn't lose to Buffalo.
I like that. I like that. Let's try to bring that again next weekend. Nat Moore.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dolphins Alumni Relations. Next weekend, if people want to get involved, where do they go?
You can call my assistant's office, Anna Cook, and her number is 305-943-6796. Once again, 305-943-6796.
He is Nat Moore. Next weekend is Dolphins Alumni Weekend.